welcome back to the channel. Bit of GTi stuff for something different. I haven't even touched it in like 3 months, just had nothing really to do. Had a bunch of other stuff going on, so I'm going to do a bit of a start. Did the A-pillar trims the other day, yesterday, in some nice Alcantara, same as the door trims. So I'm going to chuck them in first, and then we're going to start it up and see how it goes. Well, that's the first fail of the day. So it turns out I got these A-pillar trims off a jumbuck, thinking that they were the same. Turns out they're not. So you can see it just slightly different. It's a bit hard to see. Hang on, I'm trying to get this bit just here. I can't do it. Anyway, and clip placements are slightly different too. So that's like taller on the jumbuck. News to me. So I think I'll post that in the jumbuck group later. See if anybody wants some freshly wrapped pillar trims. Hopefully that's the only fail for the day. So I'm going to start it. Yeah, do that next. Alright, here we go. First start in like 2 months, 3 months. It's the fans. Oh, wipers are on. A little bumpy. A lot bumpy. Apparently I got no fuel. It was like a quarter of a tank before. It's idling a little rough, but it's idling. Right, take it outside and check everything over. Now, we're all pretty much set to go. Car's running great, up to temperature. Thermo fans are kicked and everything. The only thing is the aircon's no longer cold. I got it regassed a couple of months ago, and it's just not hot, which is fine because it's still cold. I'll just set up my GoPros and stuff, and then go for a drive. Alright, here we go. Let's go for a drive. It's going to go out to the service station and back. A little bit of fuel in. Crossing all the fingers to see how we go.
something was flapping around, grinding on the ground. Crap myself. Just a bit of the fender liner was flapping around, so every time I broke hard it would like scrape against the ground. Bit scary, but I fixed it, that's all good. Seemed to be losing power at about 5 grand too, so it's going to go for one more little drive around and see if I can recreate it. Let's try that again. Acceleration test here. Yeah, she's bogging. There it goes again. And back again. And again. Brakes work. I don't know what it's doing. Alright, yeah, she's bogging hard. I don't know why, but going off my old cars is probably something to do with the throttle body. So I'll have to look into that. Otherwise, acceleration feels good. Probably need to do the clutch, I reckon. Steering's good, brakes are awesome. Yeah, just gets around 4 or 5 grand, 5 or 6 grand, and just bogs down and then picks back up again, and bogs down and picks back up again. Hopefully that translates in the video. But I'll call it a day at that, I think. Head home now and put her away. See if I can figure out, maybe order a clutch, see what I can do. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are tackling clutch. So we've got a GTi Sports Tough, just sports kit, like nothing fancy, not HD, super hard or anything like that. Nice clutch pressure plate. Also got rear main seal and drive shaft seals just in case. There's part number there for that one. Part number there for that one. No release bearing. Got that whole thing, except didn't come with a clutch alignment tool, which was a bit annoying. But we'll figure that out as we go. So obviously the first thing I need is jack the car up, and then probably take about a whole bunch of this stuff out to get down to the gearbox down there. So as the boys at Mighty Car Mod said, first step, jack up your car. Okay, so airbox is off, intake, battery tray. Gives me a better look down here. So I definitely need to prop the engine up, because I've got to take that cross member off, that engine mount, the linkages down here obviously, wheels, got to take drive shafts out. So I think I'll start with the wheels first, give me more space, and then I can prop the engine up and start taking mounts off. Alright, so I've already got the other drive shaft out, so now I know what I'm doing. It's actually pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So I sprayed some penetrant on this earlier because this side was a bit rusty, the other side's actually pretty good. So just going to get this slide pin out here and then take the crown nut off, which is a 32mm. Don't crucify me because it's chrome and not a proper impact, but it's all I could get. So 32mm, we'll take that off. Also we'll take this thing off here and these two bolts out here.
to allow this hole to sort of fold backwards. I found it on the other side. I had to take this out because the tension on this line here, once this whole thing came down, was a bit too much, so I took that off. So a pair of pliers will just slide that out there. Take these two up, which is 17 mils, and then the crown nut, and the whole thing will come down, and then we'll pull it out. Alright, so we've got the nut off. I've got these two bolts out here, and I've just sort of pulled it down a little bit, and as you can see, it's gone back inside. You can see the inside of it there, and the gearbox there. So we're just gonna sort of pull on it, do it one-handed, kind of push it in a little bit, and then, I can't do this one-handed, hang on. Alright, so that was interesting, that was fun. Alright, so this ended up having, like, being in the way, so I just quickly took that off, and so I could get it kind of more leveraged down, because that's what was stopping it. But I got it out. Anyway, so now that's out of there, we're going to get it out of here. So I definitely wouldn't recommend just yanking on it, because if you do, you can kind of feel it sort of a bit squishy. Squishy? That's not a word. So now I'm going to get underneath with a flathead and kind of just go in. Okay, get my hand in there. Right, I'll show you on the other one. Hang on. Ooh. So this is the bit that goes in the gearbox. So you don't want to pull on it, because this bit is like, there's slack in here, because that's your joint obviously. So yeah, just get flathead screwdriver sort of on here and just very gently sort of push on it, and it should just pop straight out. Okay, let's see if I can do this. So just the flatheads up in there, sort of giving it a bit of a twist. Oh, there we go, we've got some movement. Oh, there we go. Alright, so it's coming out. Oh, there we go. Now we've got some real movement up here, the whole thing's shifting. Okay, that's about as much as I can do with that. Now, let's see if I can just... What are we stuck on over here? Bloody brake bolt, there we go. Okay. No, it doesn't want to come out. Let's get the bit in there. There we go, that's better. Okay. Damn it, this bolt's in the way. Oh, this is riveting stuff to watch. Okay, maybe... Oh, I'm doing this one-handed too, which doesn't help. And there goes my... There we go, that seems better. Ow, that was my finger. Why are you being... Oh, where did I put it? There it is. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, come on. I think the angles, it's riveting stuff, I know. I think the angle's a bit off for me to... Oh, there it goes. Never mind. And there you have it. That was just like that, nice and easy. So no one ever. There's the other drive shaft. On the driver's side drive shaft. All out. Okay. Okay, now those drive shafts are out, I'll start pulling stuff off the gearbox so I can actually get ready to take it out. So there's lines, it's a bit hard to see, right down in there, that goes up into the firewall just there. So we'll disconnect that, disconnect these here, and undo these pins here, and take them out. This goes down to that there, so I'm actually just going to disconnect the whole thing from the gearbox itself and not the line, try and make it a bit easier. And then once they're all off, I can prop the engine up with the jack. But I've got a spare jack I've got lying around here somewhere, and then I can start undoing the mount over here, and then hopefully take the gearbox out. Cross my fingers. Okay, so this is now just sort of sitting here. I've disconnected this down here. I really friggin' hate these clips, so I just unbolted it from there. Always a good idea to put the bolts back in where you got them out from, so you don't lose where they go. These two here, there, were holding the shifter linkages on. At this mount here was down on that. There's also an earth bolt, you can see up under here. That went in there. This was a pretty long one, so that one's got to stay out because it does go into the engine block. There was a plug here, and that's it. She's technically all disconnected from the engine and the car itself. So now I just need to go around and undo all of the bolts around the bell housing, and obviously this engine mount, gearbox mount. Yeah, so I'll just get a jack to prop the engine up. Then I can put one underneath the gearbox and then start undoing all of the bolts, and then hopefully it just goes, pops out. Crossing all the fingers. Okay, so there's 10 bolts total. So there's 1, 2, there's another one down there, 3, another one down there, 4, 4. Oh, I'm missing. Okay, hang on a minute. Was up to 4. Yeah, that was that one there. 5, 6, 7. I can't count apparently. Come over here. Let's see if I can't block the shadow. That one there is a just random one that I happened to find. So there's one there as well. So you got that one there. These 3 here. These 3 along here. This one in here. So I think I've got all the bolts out. Now to try and get the gearbox out. This should be interesting. And number 10 is like there. You can see where my finger's pointing, just down in there. So 10 bolts total. Yeah, so now I've just got to try and see if I can separate the gearbox from the engine. I think I might have to take this off to make things a bit easier for me. Yeah. And that's it. It's just as easy as that. I said no one ever. Obviously it needed to come back probably 40-50 mil before it actually came out, because you know, input shaft side. It's a little bit of gunk down there. So probably a good thing I did get, you know, remain seal. And the drive shaft seals don't look too bad, but I'll still replace them while I'm in here. Give this a good clean up. Check that bearing out and replace that. Obviously we've got the spare one that came in the kit. Yeah, so count these 1, 2. Oh, that's right, that one. I forgot about that one. That one was the one that held in the earth. Forgot to count that one before. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then these 3 down the bottom here. And then she just pops out. Not really pops out, but you know what I mean. Well, the gearbox is out now, so you can take that flywheel off. Sorry, the pressure plate. Check out the clutch. And there we go. See, pressure plate. Now, I'm not a clutchologist, but some spots on it I've seen on other videos randomly on YouTube and whatnot that, you know. But also, it's already got an XED in it. So yeah, I don't know whether that, well, I mean, it didn't feel the greatest, but yeah. So the clutch has already been done on this at some stage. A comparison to the one that's going in. I mean, obviously this one's well used. I don't know how many Ks it's done, but it's that one. If we have a look at the clutch plate, so this one, as I said, is a sports clutch. The biggest difference I'm seeing, can't even words are hard, remember. There's more springs on this one, and if you look closely, there's springs inside the springs, whereas on this one, it's just the straight springs. So yeah, there you go. And also HYD tell me it's Hyundai, which is one thing I did notice. Let's put that on top of it.
was that when I was searching up, where are we? Satria GTi. That's the one that came up. It's a Hyundai Sports, HYD Hyundai. So obviously they're the same splines, etc. Yeah, so there you go. There's the new one. That's the old one. Over and have a look in here. See the flywheel. It looks pretty good. But although I am seeing oil there, so I have a feeling the rear main is actually leaking. So yeah, it's actually really easy to get the fork off. Just this wire here kind of sits in that groove there, and that hole there. Pull it out, flop it out, and it just comes off. While this feels good, I'm still just going to replace it, because this whole thing is just a one unit. So I'd put that back on, and then, well, at first, that on, pop the wire in, like that, so you can see all the, I definitely think there's oil coming from it in the rear main. Good thing I bought one. And there's the flywheel. I mean, it looks fine. Looks like a normal flywheel. I'll probably get it machined before I start putting stuff back together. So in regards to rear main, it's a bit hard to see, but just around in here, there's a lot of like cruddy oil. So I think I'm getting a slight leak in the rear main, just in here. Like not enough to, I think it might have come through a little bit, it's hard to tell. But you know what, I got a new one, so I'm just going to change it anyway. Yeah, because I can definitely see there's like oil on the bottom, just here. So yeah, good thing I got the rear main. So now I need to organise to get the flywheel machined. Once that's done, I will start putting everything back together. Also, I did notice with the old clutch, I was kind of playing with it, just moving it around, and it's like rattly. Hang on. I picked it up. It's kind of like see all the springs and stuff moving around. I can move them. Whereas with the new one, it doesn't. So I don't know whether that's a thing, but yeah. Anyway, hopefully I can get the flywheel sorted during the week. And yeah, start putting stuff back together, change the rear main out. Probably won't take you through that, it's just changing the seal. Just get a pick, pull it out, clean it up, new one in, spray it with some degreaser or whatever, clean the area up. Now I can start putting stuff back together. So that's it for this video. Ordered coilovers. Probably going to take like a month to get here though, so got BCs. Yeah, so I'll obviously do a video on that when they arrive. Yeah, that was fun. It's going to be very interesting to get the gearbox back in the car, because obviously it's going to go up and then it's going to go in, so that'll be interesting. Lots of swearing when that happens, but anyway, yeah, hopefully that helps. And if you're doing clutch on your GTi, this helps you. Have a good one. Bye. Welcome back. All right, time to put the clutch in, hopefully. So this week I've been busy collecting stuff. So flywheel's now done, thanks to Murray at Victorian Brake Company in Pakenham. Machined the flywheel for me. Got clutch alignment tool. I've already put the rear main in and cleaned up the old, tossed the old one out, put the new one in. Got some Loctite for the bolts, flywheel bolts, which I've also cleaned up. Clutch release bearings already on. Put that on the clutch, on the gearbox. As you see, you have a nice clean up. And put the new bearing on there. It's looking pretty good. No more oil. It's good. So come over. So got the new rear main on. Gave that a nice clean. Also cleaned out the thread, the old Loctite out of the threads. So yeah, time to put the flywheel on. Everything else is ready to go. So the flywheel, I'll put that on. Got the torque specs for the bolts. Put the Loctite on the bolts, put them in. And we'll come back after I've done that. Alright, Flywheel's all on. All those bolts are torqued down to 90 Newton meters. That was interesting because obviously the whole thing would spin. But just down here on the dowel, I managed to find a big, what have I got? Like a crowbar thing. Just lent it on that dowel and into the groove there, and it held it in place. Didn't record it because 2 hands. So now I've got my bolts ready to go to put the flywheel and the clutch on, and then bolt the pressure plate on. Sorry, I already got the flywheel on. The pressure plate and the clutch. So that'll be the next thing to go on. And there it is. The pressure plate and clutch is now on. All those bolts are done up. Yeah, so now it's basically just time for the gearbox to go on. I also realised that, if you can see it, there's a starter motor there. I didn't realise I'd unbolted that too, which I would have needed to, obviously. Yeah, so now I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to get the gearbox under the car on a jack, and then jack it up so it's parallel, so the input shaft goes into there, into the thing of the clutch. That should be fun. Alright, there she is. It's all back in. Yeah, it was a little... Look, I was expecting it to be 10 times worse than it was, but once I got it up to a certain height, I did a bit of a time lapse, so I'll add that in before this, but I got this bolt in here because it was like pretty lined up, but obviously it had a bit of a gap, and then this bolt down here as well. A little bit further down there, just below the mount, is a dowel, so I had trouble lining the dowel up, but once that dowel was lined up, put one of the bolts in at the very bottom and started tightening that up, and then come up here and tighten this one, and then tighten that one, and tighten this one under here, and it just went shoop. And yeah, so all the bolts are back in now, including the starter motor, which is back there. Engine mounts are in here. I've still got the jack underneath it, because obviously I don't want to rest the entire transmission just on this engine mount here. Next step will be putting that cross member in, and then doing those bolts up. Once that's done, then I can reattach all the linkages and the plug down here, and the speedo down there, and then put all the airbox and the battery back in and everything. But I think before I do that, I'll just test it, because I've bolted the clutch back in. I don't know what you call it, but you know, you put your foot on the pedal and it pushes it. Yeah, it's just gone 2 o'clock, and I came out here at about 10:30, so been going for a while. But it was, you know, it was cleaning up the pressure plate, making sure all that was all clean, you know, cleaning out the threads in the flywheel bolts and that sort of stuff. And for some dumb reason, like, I lost a friggin' flywheel bolt. I was crashing out hard, thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to like order a new one and stuff. I was searching everywhere. I searched everywhere like 3 or 4 times, and it turned out that, so I got one of these things a little while ago when I did the cross member, when I cross-threaded one of the bolts. It's a thread file. So I keep my thread file in my toolbox in here. So I spent a good 20 minutes to half an hour looking for that missing flywheel bolt, and it turns out I put it in here when I grabbed that out. So bit of a brain fart moment, but so they're all in. So it took most of the time was prepping everything, making sure it was all sweet, ready to go in and all clean, and clean the gearbox up a little bit as well. So yeah, there's a few bits and pieces to button up now. I've got to head out for a couple of hours, and when I get home I'll put everything back in, and then hopefully finish it off today, and then I can upload this and get it out to you, and then you know how to do off clutch in a GTi. It was a bit of a pain in the ass trying to get like it balanced on the jack and then the jack in, because there's no flat bit, like just where the jack is sitting there now, like that's the low point, but because of most of the weight is in this bit here, not there, it just tips. So it was a bit of a pain in the ass, but I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did it. Cars on jack stands, did it by myself. Yeah, so I mean, it'd be 10 times easier with 2 people, obviously, and on a hoist and whatnot, but I'll leave it there for now. I'll come back soon. there we have it. Everything is back together. I've done the linkages back up again. A little clutch lever back there, down. That mounting there, the earth, all the engine mounts. This one down here, that one at the back, cross member. This is all back together. So the only thing left to do now is put the drive shafts back in, which I'm going to do tomorrow because I can't be bothered now because it's late. It's almost 6 o'clock. Yeah, and I just need to bleed the clutch and she's just good to go. So yeah. Now after watching part 1 and part 2, you know how to take your gearbox out, replace the clutch and put the gearbox back in again. So hope that helps. Hooroo. What's going on? Right, clutch is all sorted, bled, everything like that. But now we're going to get on to the good stuff. Coilovers. So that's the front passenger strut already out. Just thought I'd compare it next to the coilover. These have got to have, according to the instructions, these are going to have an 8 centimeter. Yeah, 80 millimeter, I was right. Of engagement of this thread inside this collar, which I have checked out and done. So at its, it's about to start raining. So at the minimum of that, it is still already, I'll line that top up there, that much of a height difference, which, you know, is probably 30 mil. So it's already about an inch lower than stock at its minimum amount here. Yeah, so this one's out. I've just got to change these over, these little things here, go on these threads here, for the brake line and speed sensor, I believe that one is. And obviously you got your sway bar links here. Don't know what that one's for, but doesn't matter, it's not in the way of anything, hopefully. Yeah, so I'm going to go chuck this in and then I'll show you driver side one. Alright, let's try a bit of POV style. So take these ones out. Now, these are already still, like I didn't put them all the way in from doing drive shafts, because I knew I was going to take them back out again soon. So it's 17 mil. Maybe if I say it loud enough, I'll go back in. There we go. So 17 mil on each of them. Put it down a little bit. And then the bottom one, obviously get out of the way. Okay, that's better. Try and push this bottom bolt out. Lift it a little bit. There we go. Right, so that's the second one out. So they got these 2 bolts here. As you can see, it's starting to go down by itself. Since I last recorded anything, it absolutely busted down with the rain here. There we go, got that. So that's the sway bar link. There. So in case you missed it, these ones are universal sway bar links, because one of mine was missing completely. So and it was either going to be like a ridiculously long wait and very expensive from the UK to get the right ones. These ones were like 20 bucks each, I think they were, for universal style. So I just measured them with the link that was on this side and then just cut it. Okay, so these 2 bolts are out. Don't know, put the zip tie here, it was there. That pops out that side, that pops out that one. I'm gonna have to cut that. That one's already out from doing the drive shafts. I got something. No, I don't. Oh. Come over to. Yes, I gotta get rid of that zip tie. Okay, that's that done. Right, so that goes around like that. Now, we come up here where you got this ready to go. 12 mils. excuse the shaking. He's on a bit of a POV chest strap style. Ow. Right, so let's get that off as much as I can. And come under here. There we go. There we go. Away. And just like that. Oh, heavy bastard. Okay. So, there we go. Let's driver's side. So I won't bore you with this bit. I'm going to take these two off, transfer them over there, give them a clean up too, and then we'll come back. Okay, so thankfully this comes with new nuts at the top here, which I'll put in place. So the other thing I did too is these are 30-point adjustables with the dampening. So I put it all the way to soft. So I want to go use this as my point. Go one full turn, and then we'll go another half. And that's so there. So I got 1.5. So it's about middle. I'll come over. Oh. Come on now. You're not seeing it. Hang on. There we go. Line up that hole. That hole. Get that bolt on there. Oh, we're hitting something down here. Hang on. Come down. There. There we go. Do this nut up. Done. What do I do with that? There we go. Oh. So once the coilovers are done, fuel pump should be here tomorrow. I'm going to do a Walbro 255 fuel pump. So that'll be the next video. It'll be how to change fuel pump on your GTi, which unfortunately is a tank job. I've already had the tank out on this, as I had a big bit of a fuel leak, because shout out to my mate Jack who got this car running, and Craig and Damien. The old fuel hose clamps were just old and they weren't like tight anymore, so I bought some proper clamps and then basically I had to replace all the clamps along the line. Okay, so we got that one there. Why is that? Oh, gotta put the bolts in first. Okay, so these ready. Here comes the fun part of lifting up the whole arm, making sure it's the right angle. Lift it up. Right in. I'm trying to get this bolt in a little higher. Here we go. Oh, like that. That easy, huh? And okay, so now this can go in there, there, and there. This go back in here. I'll get the clamp over there. I'll grab it in a minute. Let's get this bottom one in first. So a bit hard to see. Put it on this side so you can kind of see. So it's not just see there. So it's not quite lined up. So I'm going to get that both lined up, which helps to have light on the other side of it so you can see. Let's just push. There we go. before. Closer look at that. Almost. There. So the light on the other side, I can see exactly where it needs to go. So close, that's right there. Give it a bit of jiggle. Worst case, there. Hit the end of the bolt. Set that one up. Put this in as well. Alright, there we have it. Wheels are back on. Front coilovers are in. Everything's done up, nice and tight. These are set to half. I haven't changed the camber on them as yet. I'm going to leave it as like that for now. And here we go. I'm going to put it down on the ground. See if I can get a good shot from over here. Well, it doesn't look, much different than stock. But, knowing normal coils, just got to give them a week or two and they'll settle. But they're definitely shorter, as you saw from before. So yeah, that's the front done. So when that fuel pump gets here in the next 2 days, we'll get back out here and do the rears. Alright, we're a couple of days later. Turn it around, got the driver's side rear strut out, and same as the front, I've adjusted these to give the minimum amount of engagement with this thread, which is 80mm. So even with this lining up the top plates here and here, we're about 40mm between here and here. So that's maximum, but this is also uncompressed. I noticed that with the fronts, now that they've had a few days to settle, so the fronts are at maximum height, and that is still, I think I worked it out to be about ½ an inch lower than stock. And I don't really want to, the main reason for these coilovers isn't to go friggin' like as low as possible, which I will do because I just want to see what it'll look like. I think it'll look mad. It's to get, adjustable stiffness and just new struts. Like it's 20, potentially near on 25. Well, actually no, it's November now. This is October 2000 build. So these stock struts are friggin' 25 years old at this point. Yeah, I did notice this. So hang on, I lost track of what I was saying. So doing the fronts like this, making them, checking them the distance out, these were shorter, but it's also unsprung. So, it ended up being lower. Anyway, it doesn't really make sense. But what I noticed with this while testing it was even one-handed, I can compress these. Okay, maybe not one-handed, but with two hands I can compress this spring, which you really shouldn't be able to do. So that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to change these out and go something with adjustability. Because, grabbing the car and shaking it, the whole arse end moves. The front barely moves at all when I shake it, and I did set the fronts to half, which I'll set the rears to half as well. Yeah, so I got the driver's side out just to see, how to do it and whatnot, and to sort of give you a comparison with unsprung heights. So effectively what I discovered with the fronts is that how they are sitting on your table is how they'll sit on the car, because they don't, they're already sprung. These are done up. A mate of mine, Jack, shout out to Jack, he's got a 380, Mitsubishi 380, got BC Racing coilovers recently, and unfortunately they didn't do the preload on these. So his is all janky and stuff, but he's going to Shockworks soon to get a wheel alignment and get them adjusted, which I might do as well because they are legends in the field. Yeah, so this one's out. I'll go put this one in. Also, I noticed that the rears are identical whereas the fronts have to be, you know, one's the left, one's the right, just because of the positioning and whatnot. These are the same for both rears. So I'll go ahead and chuck this in, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you how to do them. Okay, the other side's all done. So obviously we've got two 14mm bolts up here. In there. So two 14mm up there. We've got our 17mm here, another 17mm here, and we've got a 14mm here. That one. To get that back in, there is like a locking nut on the inside here, which you will need to get another 14mm in there, like an open-ended spanner, to undo that one. And that's it. So yeah, this one, and this one. Okay, that's all the bolts undone, and it's just difficult to do this with one hand. Oh, this bloody thing's not right. There we go, and there we have it. Just that easy, that quick. Right, let's chuck them in. Underneath this top. You can't see shit from up there, eh? Hello. That's better. Sorry. Just that easy. Little time lapse. That's exactly how long it took me to put it in. Time to put the wheels on and put it back on the ground. And there you have it. That's the rear done and the front done. So now, after watching my videos, it took me probably an hour to do the rear, and probably like about the same on the front, to be honest. So you probably look at it like pushing it, and if I had someone helping, probably hour and a half to do front and rears, because you could do, you know, two at the same time. Yeah, there you go. Coilovers are now in the GTi. I'll go pick up the new fuel pump this afternoon, and I'll start doing that. So I've got to drop the tank down, and I've done that before. That's a ton of fun. But anyway, thanks for coming. Yeah. Hooroo. Right, we're back after a quick coffee. After finishing the coilovers, we're going to take out the fuel tank and we're going to replace the fuel pump. I don't have the fuel pump yet, but I'm going to go get it soon. Figure I'll use this bit of time, take the tank out, show you how to do it, take the old fuel pump out, get everything ready, and I can put the new fuel pump in, put it all back in, but you don't need to see that, just have to take it out. So we'll jump under and then I'll show you. Alright, here we are underneath. So we got 1, 2, there's another one there, another one there. So we've got 4 bolts, basically, just 4 bolts holding the tank in. Now, she's pretty empty at the moment, thankfully. Also, we got connections there, which you need to undo. So I'll put that down so you can see it. So we've got this clamp here, and this one here to undo, obviously from the filler neck and the breather. You can see that now. So these two. Ooh, look, shiny coilovers. Yeah, so undo those, undo the bolts, put my jack under here too, just to hold it, the pressure, and then we can start lowering it down. So I will take these bolts out, undo the filler neck and stuff, and then come back. Alright, so I've completely forgot about that bolt up here on the front on the passenger side. The exhaust is literally right in the way. These ones, easy, you know, rattle gun, but did it, 14mm, easy to take out. But that one, Just use me socket and just very carefully, very slowly and painfully took that bolt out. So all the bolts are out, except the thing now is that it hits on that bracket just there that holds on like the handbrake lines and stuff. So I've undone that bracket there, and as you can see, she's wibbly wobbly. So I'll pop you down here. We'll just slowly let the jack down. There we go, it's out of the way. So far so good. Wiggle it a little bit more. There we go. So that's now out of the way of that bracket there. Just a little off balance. It's got to put some weight down on one side, and we should be able to gently. There we go. Perfect. Let it down the rest of the way. Okay, now we're loose and free of everything. Got this line here, just goes up there. That's cool. Alright, I just need to disconnect the actual filler pipe because I didn't do that yet. Hang on. Okay, filler neck's off. I'm just going to bend this the other way a little bit so it doesn't pull on it too much. I'm going to let it down. There we go. Here we have it. Let's get this out of the way here. Got that. There we go. Alright. So you can see here, see if I can cast it very well. There we got the fuel pump connection there. Get some light in there, hey? There we go. So now I just need to disconnect those lines. And that plug, and then I can get this out from underneath the car.
So I know you've just seen it about 3 seconds ago, but moments after I ended that last shot, the tank tipped and poured fuel all down the side of my face and in my ear. It's now 3 weeks after I recorded that. I couldn't hear out of my ear for about a week and a half. That was fun. So I don't know if you remember, just in there I said, oh, it's empty, so it'd be sweet. It was basically full. I had photos in here. So that's the fuel pump. And that's the fuel float. Yeah. It was basically full. So yeah, it's been a whole thing. I looked at getting it cleaned. I tried cleaning it myself, didn't really work. I found a kit online. A reseal kit. You can, it's like a flush and a rust converter and then a sealant. About $200, $230 delivered. I found a place that would clean it for me, rotisserie style, about $500. But then one of the guys in the group, sorry I can't remember your name right now, but he mentioned that Mirage, the CECC Mirages are the same basically, you know, well, I figured from the firewall back. And it turns out, he's like, nah, the fuel tanks out of a Mirage are the same. I was like, oh, I was doing some online research and stuff, and the lances, all the float and the tank hanger were different. So I was like, it's not the same. Went to the wreckers and found this. So this is actually a tank out of a CC Mirage. And they are identical. I'll put the other one under the car there, but they are identical. The only difference between them is this little tab here, which holds like from the breather here, the line that comes down and along. It holds like a one-way valve, little small thing that sits there, and this here. So with the Mirage pump hanger, these lines are longer and they come out and then they turn. So this mounts that on there. The only other difference too, this is the float out of a Mirage, so it's just got a different plug. I did keep the wiring for that particular one though, so I will get under and suss out and wire my float up the Proton wiring. Hopefully the colours are the same. I've got to jump under and have a look, but you know, it'd be earth, power and a signal wire. Be pretty simple. This is a different float I got from shout out to Baz.
These are old float, what am I saying? The fuel pump hanger. Got the new fuel pump here. So here is the float that was in my tank. As you can see, it is rusty as all shit. Obviously it's more free flowing now because it was sitting in the tank when I had vinegar water in there, but you can see it still is very corroded. It was so corroded in fact that like it wouldn't do this at all, like just at all, wouldn't move. I had to physically move it by hand. Sure, it's moving now and I could probably put it back in this tank and not have to worry about rewiring that plug, but it's already got corrosion on it. I'm not putting that in the tank. This is the fuel pump. I'll put a photo here of what this pump looked like when it went in the tank. And this is what it looks like now. So I was going to reuse the hanger and just clean it up, but Baz kindly sent me a non-corroded one. So I'm going to take that hanger out and put the new fuel pump on, and then I'll get under and wire that plug, and then this can go back in, and then put some fuel in it, and then I can do my coil and plug conversion, which I'll do in a separate video. Yeah, so it's been a very interesting last couple of weeks. I can now hear out of my ear now, so that's fine. Yeah, so it's been very interesting, but yeah, we'll get cracking on this. I'll hang that up and I'll show you. I'll come back and then do the wiring and so on and so forth. Okay, I think we're all good to go. So I've rewired the Proton wiring to the Mitsubishi plug. Really easy, power, earth, signal wire. It's just a matter of figuring out which one. On this one it was, well, black obviously is ground, red, I think it was red and pink, and then there was a orange, I think was for the signal, and then on the Proton side it was obviously black again for ground, yellow for power, and again I was just frigging under there, I can't remember, there was a different wire for the third one for the signal. I've got this tube on here, which I was having a lot of issue getting it off the old one. You see this one's a bit manky, a bit twisted, because this bit here doesn't turn, like that bit. This bit doesn't turn, but the bit on this end turns. So, you know, you hold this in place and then turn the other one into this. The more you know. So now I'm going to get back on the ground. Oh, shout out to Super Cheap for having one of them on special, because my old one, where is it? On that side. I've had this since I had my Celica, and she's full cracked in there, so had that on special, so shout out to them. Anyway, so yeah, so it's back on the ground, underneath, plug everything back in, put it back in, the bolts back in, touch wood. I come back after this and I'm all like, yay, it's back in, or I don't come back at all, so we'll see. Well, no, it took about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Getting all the connections done back up again, getting everything lined up, getting the filler neck on was a pain in the ass. That one connection that I was talking about, where it mounted the original pump hanger, I would not wish that on my worst enemy, that connection, the pain in the ass. Anyway, on the positive side, tank's in, float's wired up, everything's back together. So I've gone from, I'll just chuck a new fuel pump into tank, float, everything. So now all I need to do is put some fuel in it and start it, but it's near on 6 o'clock at the moment, so I'm quitting for the day. Get some fuel in it, make sure it's not leaking, it's important. Yeah, check the level, make sure that's all working properly. Then when that's all working properly, I'll start it, and once it's all good, then I will do the coil and plug conversion. But next weekend is Classic Japan, so I'm going to head down there, so next weekend's video will be Classic Japan. The one thing I would say, if you're going to try and do this yourself, just drain the tank first. Just take the drain plug out. Even though if your gauge says it's empty or not, just take the drain plug out, because that would have probably saved me, I mean, it would have saved me going deaf in one ear for 3 weeks, so 2 weeks, whatever it was. Anyway, have a good one. I'll talk to you later. What's going on? Thought I'd do a quick one. First things first, do a little update
from the fuel tank, fuel pump, everything. This is going to be a cold start. I put fuel in it yesterday and started it, made a little video, put it on the socials.
First fire up with the new fuel pump. We have no leaks. It's just running so really well right now. Like, obviously better than it was before. Beautiful. Let's check that gauge. I only put 10 bucks in it, but that fuel gauge. Ah, what are you doing? That's above quarter.
But this is just going to be one for the YouTube, so we're going to see if you can see it. So what we're going to do is make sure it's out of gear. I'm going to do a start. There goes the fuel pump. She started. Watch that fuel gauge. I just put another 20 litres in, so she's got about 30 litres in there now. There it goes. There she goes. Give that a little bit of time. So, bit of a cold start. Running really well. Very happy with how it's running, and it's not noisy, that fuel pump either. Running really good, very happy. Just doing this, it's a bit more of a comparison. Just shy of half, so a bit of a comparison, because coil on plug conversion time. So we've got the mounting bolts, Honda coils, and wiring. You can get other kits that don't have the plug that you need to wire up yourself, but I splashed out and got the one that you just plug and play. So we'll go over and get started. Obviously the first thing we need to do is take the coil plug cover off, I guess. And you've obviously got their other 10mm bolts or just Phillips heads. One's a bit cracked, but it's still on there. And then we'll go up and work out that stuff over there. So I'll take this off and we'll bring it back. Okay, leads are off. This plate in here, there you go, and there is off. This was plugged in. This was plugged in. Oh, I'm not even looking at it. This was plugged in. This was plugged in. 3 bolts. See, 12 more bolts in there. We go over here. So that's the unit there. That's the coil pack. This is plugged in, obviously straight to the leads there. This one though, which is what this plugs into, doesn't go anywhere. Literally, just doesn't go anywhere. So that'll be interesting. So now looking at these, I've got 3 short ones and 7 long ones. I've got 3, 6. So I'll go figure that out and then come back. Okay, so we're in the engine bay. So first thing I've noticed is I've got to make sure that these plugs are running into these grooves first, because this wire here obviously goes out there. I need to put these little spacers gently on top over the thread. I need to move this over and gently start putting the bolts in, so I'll do that. I'll be back. Okay, so first problem. Okay, so there's 2 different size bolts. There was 3 of these and 7 of these, and you need 6 there obviously, and then another 4 there. These long ones don't fit. You can see that they're bottoming out there, but the short ones fit. Now the big long ones will fit because they screw into here and they don't bottom out, which is fine. So that doesn't work. That's the first issue, and they're the ones that they were sent to me. They came in the kit, so I've now got to see if I can find, if I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these short ones somewhere. So I went through my stash and I found some bolts that fit. The only problem was that
I actually had to use these ones, the short ones here, because these ones that I found were the same length as... Yeah, they were the same length as the long ones. No, they were shorter, but they were too long to fit in here. This is shorter. So I've had to use the short ones in here, which is fine. Now, we're ready to put plugs on. Alright, there we have it. All bolted up, all connected, all the connections are in, everything runs underneath there, pops out there, plugs into this. So, plugs into this, now you can see it. So this is what I was confused about. So this was plugged in originally to the top of that other system, the system bracket, whatever. And there was nothing else plugged into it. And then this was plugged in for the leads. So yeah. And we see here, we've got, you can see the colors on there. So each have got brown and red. So power ground, and then a trigger. So white, blue. Blue, brown, yeah, white. So yeah, hopefully I'll now connect the battery and we'll go in and see what happens. So it's either gonna just do absolutely nothing or it'll fire straight up. So let's find out with me. Sure it's out of gear. Okay, here goes. Nothing. Oh wow, okay. There you go. Ta-da! All done. It's just that easy. And obviously now if you want to change spark plugs, you just one bolt, pop it out, spark plug out, and away you go. Awesome. Give it a little bit of a rev. Where are we? Can't wait to take it for a drive. There we have it. Coil and plug conversion is done. Fuel pump, fuel tank. We're all good to go. Go take it for a test ride. Check out these coilovers. See how everything goes. Anyway, thanks for coming. What's going on? Quick one, right on Christmas. Give you a bit of an update on what's been going on. So I made myself some floating amp racks the other weekend. There's a bit of wood left over from the headline around. So now the wires go behind the amp racks through a small hole in the carpet. They come down, they go, oh there we go, go through here. And now they're all in the back here, which we'll cover obviously with the standard carpet and whatnot. Wait, here we go, you can see the other one here, same thing. Wires go behind, wires go behind, come out down the bottom there. I will put lights behind here so they light up, and I'll put a little thing here so you can see. So I made myself my very first sub box with this DD80E single 8-inch. It's meant to have two, but got the very last one left. It is ported down the bottom here. Carpeted it. It's not very nice on there for this side, but first time I've done it. So massive shout out to Jono at Wholesale Acrylic Warehouse. I'll put something down here if I got that wrong. Did this for me super last minute. Did it basically in one day. He's got etched on the other side. I'm thinking I might do like a cap that runs all the way along, and then some LEDs in there so that the light permeates through the logos. I've only tested this briefly, and it was really friggin' loud, so super happy with how that's come out. Obviously I've got some tidying up to do in here, put the carpet back in and whatnot, but that's an after Christmas jobby. Same with the border around this. But the main reason why I wanted to do this one is stock wheels. And here is the wheels that I'll be going with. They are the same spec as stock, 16 by 7 plus 23. Didn't want to mess around with going bigger, messing with the guards and stuff like that. So yeah,
So new wheels, got to sort out tyres for them. We've got our boot installs almost finished. That's about it. So just a quick video from me today. Hopefully I'll get this out on Christmas Day. So if you celebrate Christmas, have a good one. If not, catch you in the new year. Hooroo!